Hi everyone, in this session we're going to walk through how to configure your cost basis calculation. So the calculation settings for your calculation can be found within the transactions page of your Cryptoworth account. So under transactions, what you will want to do is head to the right side of your calculate button, which is on the top right of your screen, and click on the configuration icon. This is where you can configure and set up the settings of your cost basis calculation. So here you can see the calculation mode. It's set to FIFO in my example, but you can change it to any of these accounting methodologies, just like you had this option when you created the entity. Now you have different objectives for your calculation. Trailed start is the most popular, most common setting. If you were ever to switch from one accounting method in the books that you closed to another, this is where trailed continue comes into play to continue the cost basis flow from one accounting methodology to the other. And then untrailed is for testing purposes. However, for simplicity, most of the time, in most cases, you will be perfectly set up in trailed start. Now we do have the option for enabling audit logs. So this is if you want to see the inventory references for your dispositions. You can enable the setting, which is nice because in the user interface, it'll show you where the cost basis of your inventory lots are coming from. For your cost basis flow, this is a very important setting because it dictates whether your cost basis methodology is running at a universal level or per asset level versus a per connection or per account level. So per asset in Cryptoworth would be equivalent to universal. So inventory would be pulled together based on the total amounts of tokens rather than what connection or account they came from. And per connection is if you want to run the cost basis methodology by account that you have connected, whether it's an exchange account or wallet, FIFO would run in this case by connection by selecting this option. Now we do have advanced options. If you want to calculate your tax loss and separate your capital gain or loss by short-term, long-term gain loss, then you want to enable calculate tax lots. We do have calculate NFT cost basis as a default option on, but if you do not interact with NFTs and you don't want to consider them in your calculation, you can deselect this. We also have the ability to calculate assets by asset. So this is an optimization for your cost basis calculation. This is useful for users who have a significant amount of unique assets within their balance sheet on Cryptoworth. And then we also have some custom calculation settings, such as recalculating dispositions or acquisitions. So once you run a cost basis calculation, Cryptoworth will automatically input the financial values within the cells on their cost and proceeds. Now, if you don't see any cost basis or proceeds for your transactions, that means that these transactions have not run through a calculation yet. So they need to be run through a calculation. And if they are there and you want to recalculate those figures, that's where those recalculate disposition or acquisition settings come into play.